is, do older men date women too young for them just to relive their young days?
And no old suck the life out of me. No, I'm not doing it. You
Why?
want to hoe around in your 20s and your 30s. Now you're 50 and you single because you was hoeing around all around town, community dick. And now you want to get somebody that's younger because they less used. You're used. So you're used up and you want somebody less used up. No, go ahead and get your match. They be out here, they be having several baby mothers, several kids, but want a girl with no kids. No, get your match.
All right, short clip, but I know y'all are fans of her. So, do older men date women too young for them just to relive their young days? I'm gonna go ahead and start with you, Trev. What do you think about that? You on mute, Trev.
I got to get back used to my two displays and swinging this thing all the way over to the other panel. All right. So I think she missed the mark on that one, man. See, and some of the reasons that she's mentioned, they're valid, right? Dudes do not want a female who's used, right? But the problem is dudes don't have the same effects and drawbacks from as women do, because women take on all that emotional pain when they're dealing with several partners. Like, that doesn't happen the same as men. Not to say it doesn't happen to a degree, but not nearly as substantial as it does for a woman, right? They become damaged. They become seriously jaded. And once you have like a bunch of kids and stuff, women are the primary people who are going to take care of children anyway, right? So when you have that, most of the men don't have the kids. And it's very tough for men to run into a situation with the female who already has kids, because you're going to have to watch them. You're going to be like stepdad, especially if it's a teenager or something. He's going to want to beat you up. It's a whole lot of different types of baggage that come along with the woman who's older, right? And one of the main things that men appreciate is for a woman to be malleable, for her to be coachable. And women who are in their 30s, 40s, they're not so malleable. They're not so coachable. So you can't really make them the woman who is for you, right? And no matter how you spin it, that's what we try to do. We want to mold a woman into our type of woman. So when you get them at an earlier age, it's a lot easier to do that. And you might want to see it as manipulation or whatever, or grooming or whatever you want to call it. It is what it is. But we want to find a woman who is valuable. We want a woman who's coachable, no matter how you spin it. That's what we want. We don't want somebody who's set in their ways and just does not understand what it is that a man wants. Like, you could find somebody, even if you find a young girl, she doesn't really know how to cook or nothing like that. You can have it to where you can teach her to cook like you. You know what I'm saying? Versus the stuff that she's learned in her life already. And that's what you really want, right? You, like, when it comes to McLovin, you want to teach a female how to satisfy you, and she's going to be more open to it. She's going to be more energetic. She's going to be more able to do it. And, you know, as far as that category is concerned, men don't really age as fast as women do. It's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. Men appreciate their younger women. And a lot of times what women are understanding is that men, our sexual marketplace value goes higher as we age, right? Of course, it's going to top out, right? It doesn't, like, you're not going to be 90 years old and you're still raising up, but you got up into about 50 when you're still very desirable. And women who might disagree, tell your peers the same thing, because they would be all over it. I'm in my 40s, and if that's what I wanted to do, I could easily do it. Females don't stop. You become more desirable because you've accomplished the things. You have the maturity. You can hold conversations more. Everything that women is attracted to, you are better at. So as long as you keep yourself looking sturdy, young, you in shape, you'll be able to obtain a younger woman. Whereas the females, fertility is another concern. No matter how you spin it, fertility after 35 is a geriatric pregnancy, right? So the chances of you having kids, let's say you want 2-3 kids, that timeline, what are you going to rush right through the whole situation? It could be a lot of problems once a female's older. So I could understand why somebody would rather a younger woman, because sometimes it takes us as men a much longer time for us to get to our sexual marketplace value to the maximum level, whereas a female reaches hers with between like 20, 25. I'll end it there.
All right, we'll go to you, Cloud Jones. What are your thoughts about it, sir?
I would say, all right, as far as the actual question goes, do older men date women too young for them to relive their young days? I wouldn't agree that they date women necessarily quote unquote too young for them. But would I agree that older men often date younger women to relive their younger days? I would say absolutely. I'd say that's entirely the point. A lot of men have had to very early in their age spend their life accumulating wealth, accumulating skills, working in a career, and unfortunately, doing that takes them away from society, living life, having certain experiences, and just plain old having fun. And so I think for a lot of guys, once they get to a certain point in their life that they're established, it's like they might not be looking for someone who's at the same level as them. They might just now be looking to have some fun. Like, yo, I got this money. I want to buy my Ferrari. I want to have a pretty girl sitting in it. I want to travel and spend my bread. And I don't know what the new trends are. So I want somebody young to keep me abreast of the trends and someone to show me where the cool restaurants are and what the fly fashion styles are. So I could understand how someone who's lived that type of lifestyle would want that in older life. But I think that the young lady in the video, I agree with Trev when I say I would say she missed the mark. I think that her perspective of it is somehow that these men are washed up, but usually the men who in older age even have access to younger women, they're not washed up. You know what I mean? That's just usually not the case. It's not like some 50-year-old loser that's dating the 25-year-old. It's usually that 50-year-old guy, like I said, with the Ferrari, hedge fund manager, guy that's been bringing in bank for years that's dating the 25-year-old. It's usually the cream of the crop of the men in their 50s or 40s or whatever the case is. So I think that when you're at the top of your game for a man, you get the top pickings, and with women that happens to be the youngest and most attractive ones, and the most fit ones, and so that's just what it is. That's just how it is. So I would agree with Trev, and I would disagree with the young lady in the video.
All right, go ahead, brother Hink.
So do older men date women younger for them just to relieve their youth? Yeah. I don't know if that's the reason why they're doing it. It's possible, but I don't see that be the case. Maybe if they're looking to marry, I guess on the second marriage, they probably just gonna deal with younger because they had the old head already, had 2 or 3 kids already, probably got ran through the ringer, and just trying to get something a little younger and more spry. And if he decide to want to have another baby or 2 with the young girl, he can, because the older women, they probably all set. They probably already got the insides taken out, a hysterectomy's done, so they can't make no more goddamn babies. So they got to get one of them young girls to come through this real fertiles, got their ovaries and everything working, so they could drop them loads in them, so they can make some more kids, if that's what they choose for. Or they maybe they are looking to have some fun, you know what I'm saying, and they can get it out of the young girl. But I don't know, if I was an old head sister myself, I would feel like the girls just use me for my bread. So I wouldn't do it personally. Well, I guess there's some cats out there probably like to swing like that though.